Hey, good morning. Shabbat Shalom. Next week, I'm going to Israel as part of the local Motor City mission. And there are a number of us from Adat Shalom who are going, and I'm very excited to go. I have not been there since 2019. We were supposed to have a trip in 2020, but then we didn't. And I'm very glad to be able to go now, though I am trying as hard as I can to avoid what I call the used to be theirs. You see that pile of rock? That used to be a synagogue. And do you see that pile of rock? That used to be a church, and that pile of rock used to be another thing. It's like when I used to tell my kids when they were little, do you know that Dunham's used to be here, but now Dunham's is over there? They're like, tell me another story, Daddy. That's amazing. So I'm honest, I'm not all that interested in the used to be's. I mean, it's worth seeing once for a sense of history. I'm going for the hummus. I am approximately 3/4 hummus by weight. I love hummus. My goal is to just do a hummus tour. We're going to start with Abu Bakr and Haifa, where the grandmother there takes every chickpea and peels it by hand and turns it into a hummus that you can hear the angels weeping that they can't eat it. And then we'll go down to, there's a really awesome bus station in Akko, Abu Salida, and then we'll end with Arbus. I know, I'm getting a little emotional too, just thinking about it. I was there once with my daughter. She took me, and I had the hummus with preserved lemon, and she's talking to me. I said, shh. I have had more religious moments in Israel at hummus places than I have at the Kotel. I mean, the Kotel's fine and all that. But Abu Bakr, if you want to know that God is real. That was awesome timing. I should probably just stop now. Yeah, so apparently the rebuttal to this sermon is going to be soon after. But as excited as I am to go, this is also one of the most complicated times in Israel's history. And I'm very concerned. When Israel's threats were external, I didn't worry as much. But when they're internal, that's what makes me nervous. Jewish history can be divided essentially into two holidays. They're either Purim or they're Tisha B'Av. They are either hamantashen and joy and noise and time with friends and helping each other, or it's Tisha B'Av, which is where we turned on each other and we lost everything. Right? It's Purim or it's Tisha B'Av, and it's our choice. And I am very worried with what I am seeing in Israel. And I will tell you that I have no loyalty whatsoever to any politician. And don't tell me that just because someone got more votes than another person, that makes it a democracy. That just makes it majority rule. That is not a democracy. A democracy is how it treats everybody, even the ones you don't like, even the ones you don't agree with, even the ones that you wish were not there, but they are. Any politician, regardless of country, who says that only some are entitled to rights, but others have to earn them, is not a politician worth supporting, regardless of what country. Israel is the greatest laboratory our people have had in 2,000 years, and Israel is where we find out who we really are. When you have no power, you don't know who you are. Only when you have power to change things, to make a difference, only when you have power over someone do you find out who you are. The state of Israel is how we find out who we are as a people. Being a victim is not a moral choice. And we were victims for 2,000 years, and you do not get credit for moral decisions as a victim. You can make a decision of how to live the best you can. You can make a decision in trying to do things better. You can make a decision over maybe there are people in your life that you have some power over, but when you are under the authority of someone else, you are not making the same kind of moral decisions as when you have power over other people. And for the first time in 2,000 years, the Jewish people has power, and we have a choice to either use it wisely or to give it up. We have a choice, again, between Purim and we have a choice between Tisha B'Av, and we are the only ones who get to make that choice. For the first time in 2,000 years, we have agency over who we are. What I want to share with you is 2 paragraphs from Israel's Declaration of Independence that was signed 75 years ago. This is one of the most powerful statements of what the values of the state of Israel are supposed to be. And if you deviate from those values, you are deviating from who we are as a people. You might wear the outfit of a Jew, but your neshama has dried up and become something else. The state of Israel will be open for Jewish immigration and for the ingathering of the exiles. It will foster the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. It will be based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisioned by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or gender. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, language, education, and culture. It will safeguard the holy places of all religions, and it will be faithful to the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. We extend our hand to all neighboring states and their peoples in an offer of peace and good neighborliness, and appeal to them to establish bonds of cooperation and mutual help with the sovereign Jewish people settled in its own land. The state of Israel is prepared to do its share in a common effort for the advancement of the entire Middle East. We appeal to the Jewish people throughout the diaspora to rally around the Jews of Eretz Yisrael in the tasks of immigration and upbuilding, and to stand by them in the great struggle for the realization of the age-old dream, the redemption of Israel. The redemption of Israel is based completely on whether it is a safe place for everyone who lives there. Again, not for some, for everybody who lives there. We say in our tradition that everyone is created in God's image, but B'Tselem Elohim. Do we really believe that? Do we believe that it's everybody, or it's just the ones that we care about? Are we following what the Torah says, Mishpat Echad, that there is one law and one law only for everyone in the land? When you have different laws for different people, you are not following this segment of the Torah. This declaration says that we have to follow the teachings of the prophets, and the greatest of our prophets was Isaiah, who said, Lem'an Sion lo echasheh. For Zion's sake, I will not be silent. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not be silent. The violence that is being perpetrated today in the name of the Torah, to me, is horrifying. President Herzog, whose family goes back many generations of Israel, said, "This is not who we are. This is not who we are. This is not how we do things." We have to stand up against violence for wherever it comes from. And I understand anger and I understand frustration, But it is precisely the laws that prevent us from acting on our anger, from saying, well, the people are upset, so they lashed out. You know, Bill Parcells, who was the former coach of the New York Giants, whenever someone would say to him, well, our team is better than it looks, he said, you are exactly who your record says you are. What we do is who we are. And are we fulfilling what we are supposed to fulfill? I don't want to lose the land again. The last time Jews had political independence was from 162 BCE to about 60 BCE, during the time of the Maccabees. It was a 100-year blip. And then exile for 2,000 years, and now it's been 75 years of the State of Israel. Is this Reshit Tzmicha Geulatenu? Is this the beginning of our redemption, or is this just another 100-year blip of Jewish history? And we go back into darkness and we go back into exile. Are we ready to actually live our values where we turn toward each other in order to make the rest of the world better? In the book of Psalms, it says, Al titneni b'nefesh tsarai, do not put the spirit of our enemies within us so that we become witness to lies and to violence. Not just the lies and violence of our enemies, but our own, if we decide to become like our enemies. This is the Shabbat of Zachor. We remember what Amalek did to us, and it says, Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek b'derech b'tzeitcha mitzrayim. Remember what Amalek did to you when you left Egypt. Amalek was able to attack us because we allowed those who were most vulnerable to be left alone, to fend for themselves, to not be protected. When we look out for everyone, Amalek can't stop us. So part of what this means is don't let Amalek turn you into Amalek. Being Jewish doesn't magically make you right. Being Jewish doesn't magically make you good. It means that you have an inheritance that demands goodness, that demands kindness, that demands righteousness. In 1972, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, morally speaking, there is no limit to the concern one must feel for the suffering of human beings. Indifference to evil is worse than evil itself, and in a free society, some are guilty, but all are responsible. So let's remember who we are supposed to be. May history remember us as a blessing, and may we be the ones who bring Purim to the world and never Tisha B'Av. Shabbat Shalom.